Good evening and welcome to the Channel Studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. US election officials have said the 2020 White House vote was the most secure in American history, rejecting President Donald Trump's fraud claims.
We did win this election.
They spoke out after Mr. Trump claimed without proof that 2.7 million votes for him had been deleted, and he has yet to concede to the president-elect, the Democrat Joe Biden. Mr. Biden is now projected to have won Arizona, extending his lead by 11 electoral college votes to a total of 290 with Mr. Trump on 217. It is the first time the state has voted Democrat since 1996. Ethiopia's Prime Minister has accused forces in the northern Tigray region of carrying out a massacre of civilians. Abiy Ahmed said Ethiopian federal troops had liberated the western part of Tigray in a victory for the innocent civilians of Maikadra that were brutally massacred. In a separate statement, Mr. Abiy also said bodies of members of the army who were shot while their hands and legs were tied had been found. Tigrayan officials deny the atrocities, but witnesses reported by human rights group Amnesty International blamed forces loyal to the Tigray People's Liberation Front for the killings. A top official in South Africa's governing African National Congress has been granted bail in a graft case that has highlighted divisions within the party.
I haven't done anything wrong.
Ace Magashule, Secretary General and one of the most powerful officials of the ANC, faces allegations related to a contract to audit houses with asbestos roofs awarded while he was Premier of the Free State Province. The charges have put him on a collision course with President Cyril Ramaphosa, who has pledged to clean up the ANC's image with a tough stance on corruption. Outside the court, thousands of supporters denounced the trial as a witch hunt, chanting, dancing and waving banners. Mr. Magashule is the most high-profile politician to be tried since former President Jacob Zuma, whose corruption trial resumes in December. Police and protesters have clashed for the third day in the streets of the Peruvian capital Lima amid a wave of demonstrations after the ousting of former leader Martin Vizcarra. Crowds have gathered in the streets for days to protest the Congress vote, with dozens of demonstrators detained after clashes with police. Violent scuffles broke out between police in riot gear and protesters who traded blows. The Organization of American States expressed concern over what they called the new political crisis in Peru. Mr. Vizcarra described the protests as a reflection of people's dissatisfaction with the situation, while the interim president, Manuel Merino, urged Peruvians to maintain calm and responsibility. Myanmar's ruling party, the National League for Democracy of 1991 Nobel Peace Prize Aung San Suu Kyi, has secured enough seats in parliament to form the next government. The party has announced that it would be inviting ethnic minority parties to work with it, an offer it did not make when it won the last election in 2015. This year's election has been seen as a gauge of support for the NLD and Ms Suu Kyi following the Rohingya crisis. The NLD remains popular at home but has been heavily criticised worldwide after Ms Suu Kyi's response to the crisis. In the Philippines, residents in the capital Manila have started to return to their homes after Typhoon Vamco, which killed at least 39 people and left dozens missing. Vamco is the 21st and most deadly cyclone to hit the country this year. Around 500,000 households in and around the capital were without power, and virtual classes and government work was suspended in the island of Luzon, home to half of the Philippines' 108 million population. A cloud of smog has once again enveloped the Indian capital New Delhi as air quality has deteriorated to one of the worst days of the year. With smog reducing visibility, people travelled in vehicles with their headlights on because the haze on the road, while residents out for morning walks said they were experiencing breathing issues. The air quality index in the city stood at 318 on a scale of 500, indicating hazardous air quality. Pollution in the Indian capital had almost disappeared earlier this year when the government imposed a nationwide lockdown, but has returned to unsafe levels since the government began lifting restrictions at the end of August. And finally, Turkmenistan's president has bestowed his favourite dog breed with the highest honour, a giant golden statue. President Gurbanguly Berdimuhamedov unveiled the 6-metre-tall statue of the Alabi dog in the capital Ashgabat. The Alabi is a home-bred Turkmen variety of the Central Asian shepherd dog and is listed under the country's national heritage. It isn't the first time the breed has been honoured by the president. Last year, he devoted a book to the Alabi. The statue also features an LED screen with video footage of the breed in various situations. And that's your international news around the world in 5. And now back to the Channel Studios in Lagos.